Welcome to Stompbox TV. I'm Richard. I'm here at the l.r.baggs booth at NAMM 2016. I'm here with Gary. You all right?
Absolutely. I'm doing great. It's a great year.
So last year you launched the Session DI for acoustic guitar. This year you're launching the Stadium DI for bass. So bass is a new arena, really, I suppose, for you, is it?
You would almost say it's a new stadium. Definitely, this is our first ever bass guitar product from l.r.baggs. We've been producing acoustic guitar and DIs for 20 years. Para-acoustic DI is a standard amongst upright and acoustic bass guitar players. But our head engineer is actually a bass guitar player, so this is sort of his little baby, and he's been working on it for the last year with some specific things that he has in mind. Based around the idea of what you hear in a studio after post-processing versus the kind of clean, basic DI that we're used to, and it's really an incredible product.
Excellent. Well, we'd love to hear it. So if you want to play us a bit and talk us through some of the controls.
Absolutely. So to give you an idea, it's an entirely discrete system, so there's no op amps in there, so that's the basis of it. Start with a really clean DI, and then from there we have a couple of different tone shaping things that are unique to this DI. I, as a bass player, have never seen them in any other product, and that's what's really great about it. One of the very first things you're going to notice that it has the Comp EQ, and that's something that we brought over from the Session DI, and it's a multi-band compressor. It's using 3 separate bands of compression, but instead of just having a control over ratio and threshold, it's actually a fixed algorithm for those 3 bands, and you're blending in your compressed signal with your dry signal, which is very much how you hear your bass in the studio after post-processing, after mastering. So this product is really unique in that case. What that means for the layperson is I can compress my signal quite highly, and if my bass is creating more energy and clamping down on the compressor, it's not going to darken up my highs. My highs are going to be able to peek through, and it's going to compress the low end and the mid-range in a completely different way. What that means for you is, let's say I'm slapping. Let me give you a little example real quick. I'm going to disengage the effect first so you can hear it normal. All right, and then this is with the effect engaged. I'm going to turn everything else off and just have the compressor going. And one of the things I'm demonstrating here is that most of the time when you want a fast compression effect, you have to have your compressor set a certain way. If I want long sustain for ballads, I have to set it a different way. This, I can do both. My low end's getting clamped, my high end's peeking through, I get sustain, I get punch, all at the same time. And that's just one knob on this thing. This is the my other favorite knob on here. It's sort of a low-end saturator, a harmonic saturator, give you some of that tube compression you get from a really great tube amp. It's called the Growl control. I'm going to turn it up. It's going to thicken up my mid-range. So I'm going to play it normal. It's still engaged with the compression, but none of the growl effect is in there, okay? And then finally, we also have a attack control. This can be used a couple of different ways. At 12 o'clock, it's completely flat. If I boost it, I'm going to get some high-end attack. It's great for pick playing or slap playing. It's right around 2.8. If I boost it a little bit, it'll get a clanky. Or one way I like using it is to actually use it as a cut. So I can cut my my high end there, but it's not going to get muddy. This isn't a huge shelf. It's actually a tiny, narrow cue. So I'm going to pull out what creates string noise and clickety-clackety attack sound and make my bass sound really warm and fat, but not muddy. Finally, there's a control that I've had in the entire time because I'm addicted to it. It's the fat control. It's 180 hertz boost, and you have it in an off setting, a 3 decibel setting, and then a 6 decibel boost setting. So I'm going to disengage it. You can hear the low end. And here's it with the 6 dB. This is also an overdrive circuit, so that same control that was the growl that was saturating all the low end, if I actually engage the drive, it's going to switch to the high end, and now you're going to get a really warm and fat overdriven tone. Let me demonstrate that for you real quick. And that can actually go much, much more subtle, or actually much more chainsaw distortion. Another great factor on this is I have a VU that's set up for my gain, so I can set my input sensitivity. And one of my other favorite aspects of this is that you can use a wall wart 9-volt power supply, you can use a 9-volt battery, or if you're plugging into a mixing board, which I guarantee you are, you're using a direct box, you can actually power the entire unit off of phantom power. So we're talking a discrete DI, a multi-band compressor, an ultra warm, fat overdrive, all in a direct box casing that's made of extrusion aluminum, stainless steel, and ABS molded plastic, and the quality that you're used to from l.r.baggs. So really stoked about it. It's the Stadium DI NAMM 2016 l.r.baggs.
Well, thank you for that, Gary. That sounds awesome. We look forward to getting it in stock at stompboxfxpedal.co.uk. Please rate, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you again for more coverage from NAMM 2016. Just so you know, all of the sound that you've been hearing today is coming straight out the DI of the Stadium DI. That's a pure signal from there.